Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your old pal Mr. Butter coming back at you, and I am super pumped to get into this pair of kicks today. I think the day this video goes up will be the same day that the Jordan 13 Del Soles drop. So good luck to everybody that's going after them. I will be trying to grab a pair as well. I'm a Pittsburgh fan. I usually grab any Jordan retro that has yellow, white, and black on it. Today I want to get into a pair of Forum 84s. These haven't dropped yet in the US, but they are available overseas. I think currently you can grab these from End Clothing, but on March 20th they'll be available on the Confirmed app. I believe Finish Line and JD Sports is going to have them, along with a lot of other retailers. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's look at these Forum 84 highs in the worn yellow colorway. Alright, so like I mentioned before, these have not dropped stateside yet. I have been watching these on GOAT and some other retailers. The price of these is a little bit more steep of your standard Forum 84s, even collabs and that sort of thing. Like the Star-Lord pair that we just had was 120 bucks. The Packer pairs were 150 bucks, but the retail price on these is set at $200. And I wish they were more affordable than that, but I mean, 200 is like the going rate for most Jordan retros and that sort of thing. So it's not astronomical, but I would have liked to have seen them come in a little bit closer to what we're used to seeing for Forum 84s. The box is a lot like every other Forum 84 box. It slides out like a drawer. It's blue and it's got all this Adidas print all over it, and the basketball player here. The tag reads Forum 84 High AEC, and the colors are footwear white, hazy yellow, and footwear white. This is a US size 10. Also, I want to give a shout out to my buddy Logan J. Baez. I've mentioned multiple times that he's got a dope channel. He's got a review of these up. It's the only other review I've seen of them, so I'll link that down in the description if you're interested. But I highly recommend checking out his videos. And then boom, here they are. The Forum 84 High in the worn yellow colorway. And as part of this pack, obviously you can see why they call it the worn yellow. It's pretty distressed looking. It looks like a pair that's put in some work. It looks like a pair that's, you know, already been beat up pretty good. But it also just has that classic retro style. You can tell that the materials are really, really good, like we've come to expect from Forum 84s, and I really, really like these. One thing that these remind me of is from my childhood. I was really into guitars and that sort of thing when I was a kid. I always wanted an American either Stratocaster or Telecaster made by Fender. But those were my favorite guitars, and that was like my grail as I was a kid. Well, in the mid-90s, I think they started making this series called the Relic Series. And this is where they would take these very high-end American Telecasters and Stratocasters, and somebody in the custom shop would actually, by hand, distress them. And so like here you can see that the toe box is scuffed up. On the sides you can see it scuffed up, and there's like muck all over it, and it just looks like somebody, I believe that all these imperfections were kind of put in there by hand, and it reminds me of those guitars. And I remember when I was younger, I wanted an American Stratocaster so bad, and I thought, why would anybody want that done to their guitar? And I actually read an interview with somebody that worked in the custom shop, and they said that the idea was that they wanted these high-end guitars to be played, and they wanted them to be taken on tour. They wanted people to actually use them, because they were a little bit disheartened by making these beautiful instruments just to have somebody sitting them in the attic and not being used. You know, they would cost a couple $1,000s or whatever, and they would sound as good as it gets, but yet they would just stay in their case. They wouldn't even be displayed because people didn't want to get any imperfections in the finish on them. And this just makes me think of that. Like, this is a shoe that I will throw on feet way before I would throw like my All Mominiere ones on feet, simply because what am I going to hurt it? I mean, what am I going to do to it? I'm not going to, you know, oh shoot, there's another scratch in the leather. That'll just make it look more authentic, you know? But after I heard that, after I read that in the article, it kind of made me understand, like, okay, that's kind of cool. I can actually understand that. And now I'm not implying that that is Adidas's intention with these, but it makes me think of that. So I just wanted to share that little story with you. It actually also reminds me of the vehicle that I have now. Is my first new vehicle I've ever got. I'm middle-aged, and the truck that I have now is my first new vehicle purchase ever. The day that I got it, I remember I noticed there was a tiny little scratch on the door. And at first I thought, like, oh man, this is a new vehicle, this is terrible. But real quickly it came to mind, well, now you don't have to worry about putting the first scratch in it. You know what I mean? It's a truck. You're going to be throwing stuff in the bed of it. I got 3 kids, you know, it's going to be getting scratched. And now the nerves of, oh no, you know, making it imperfect are kind of just over with. So I don't, it still has that scratch, and I still look at it and I actually don't mind it. You know what I mean? That's life. Life isn't perfect. You know, we get dinged up a little. But anyhow, I think these are dope. These look really, really good. I like that it's done by hand. At least I think it's done by hand. And it's one of my favorite shoes. I really like the color yellow. Baseball season's about to start. And, you know, even during football season, I'll still rock my black and yellow for the Steelers. But these are dope. I don't have anything else like it. So there was also a blue pair in this pack, but I decided to go with the yellow pair because I already have a bunch of blue and white forms, but I don't have many yellow ones. Anyhow, we'll start with this outsole, standard tread pattern. You can see that it looks like this muck color was kind of like painted on, and it almost looks like an army green color for most of this outsole. But you've got this bright red suction cup or pivot point there under the forefoot, and even that looks like they kind of put some coating of muck on it, but it just looks dope. I really like it. And then coming up from that outsole, you'll see it meets, I can't tell if the midsole is bright white or sail under there, but it just looks like it's got this dirt color painted on it, and you can see that it's got some Adidas branding there. Coming to the inside of the shoe, you can see that we've got that classic Dillinger webbing, and it's got more of that muck coated on there. We've got the classic heel anchor, which is a hard plastic, and of course, just like every other area, you can see that it's got some imperfections and stuff that's been put on there, like a brown dirt color. And then for the mud guard, and really this entire upper, for the most part, it looks like it's just a pretty smooth white leather, but the quality is really, really on point. Just like we're used to, it's really thick leather, and it's very soft, and it just seems like it'll hold up for a long time, and I think it looks dope. It looks really, really cool. I wouldn't have known if Logan J wouldn't have pointed it out, but there is a white Adidas trefoil right here, and you really can't see it. I don't know if they did that so it would look more faded or what, but I think that's pretty neat. But the stripes we get are like a smooth yellow leather, and even that has a distressed look. The distressed look continues on these sail laces and also on the nylon tongue. We've got a yellow Adidas tag at the top of the tongue, and it's the only thing that might look like it's not too beat up. The sock liner is a yellow color, and then I also wanted to show you the insole. The insole is like an OG insole, and on the back it's got this piece of leather stitched onto it, and that actually makes it even a little bit thicker. But let me know what you think of these. I'm